Ekuya mantio. Mese kase me ekuya boato ya Adom manim rengu aseda. Ekuya.
See.
Ekuya.
Enungu aseda ya parliament dada.
Ami. I got to go back and Dura Plus, where Dura Plus goes, water flows. Erata Motors for the best car batteries and oil. Buy speed made batteries and oil from Erata Motors. Latex from your partner for life. Vodafone. The future is exciting. Ready Agbeve Herbal Center. Why are you Madam, if you are going to Adom Matnasi. Tanase on I'm here. Area. We say Drew, Ukwada say totally different.
Yeah, pine now watching. It's a Drew Sabri, Modin, wouldn't see you, and a trasucha, Yawadani Fiada. Ukwada Nidia. Yeah, do I just wish him cannot. Say, quarter to more, Naja Wada. Let's say Fialano. Near Deno. We say Fialan, the other end, say, me co weekend. Me co weekend. Okay, my in weekend. David. Me weekend, we are very busy. Me weekend, we near my baby. Agenda, Eddie. Some what I know. Agenda.
Akasibano ensiana nonso abo. Enra ana mrantia approach for nsa kan wom. Basabasari akwaso kasoa. Ementi approach for che emum mrantia no ebi. Enra edom kogina court. Richard Kojonya akon enra na owo court ho. Richard.
Elia.
Awade ho.
Nyanya de me ho ye pa.
Aduma de ubo bi Richard.
Egun kakaka.
Enra de na see court.
Well, and they see court and they say nipa nine na police force say basabasa ye court work aswa no na omoka ho no. E de ombe gina Cape Coast circuit court. Na circuit court no na her honor Dorinda Smith Atta honor na otiedwum na omo ehwe na omo grant omo bill to the sum of 30,000 Ghana cedis inti so omo the sureties be. Now one of the sureties so omo the banom so bi oya ban adwuma na ketia no odi ni nyina keka bomu a bosome no say 2,000 Ghana cedis inti court for 7 no accuse no omo a edi omo gina ho no ye charge omo with three charges. One conspiracy to commit crime, so omo ye batabo say omo pese omo di boni, and 2 causing unlawful damage to the 3 motorbikes. Say motorbikes no omo amfa embrakwaso na omo say motorbikes no. And the third one final charge no the discharge of firearms in public without authority. Just say omo tutuo ewo abonten a ya mo ekwan say omo tutuo no. Na omo plead say omo ndi for asam na ye di sobone ya bo omo omo ndi for ewo ho. Na omo lawyer Amponsadazi pa chew say court no omo bail. The court no so omo bail a ye say ye two asam di asheda. Na asam omo say afre no on the 18th of August 2020 our case management, you know. Now, from this time up to say court in Buffalo, you know, Brother Biano says uncle for now, Mudio Quacheca, so Divisional Police Command. Brother Bia Sardian is obvious, and they see court.
But Resident Mantia Yaka once I mean, one more here for why your background checks kakra, and put round bedroom court to no one more demeanor court to Honest saying, Richard.
Well, if you're winning the winning my Mobocatra, Silly Razak. Majid Amadou, Suleiman Yusuf, and Razak Musa Sanko for 9. Since you know, ye shut down who baby Omugina, some MPP for some NDC for so mo yetimemfo so mo yifiri yo ye nim baby mo free nti afei ne ye behwe se bia sankofu wo mo sa afa we ana so mo ye den so mo koye den wo ho ye ne police for din komo no omo si omo rush to the scene of the incident no na sankofu 9 na wo ho eno nti na omo so omo koye no so omo ko ho pistol say ewo ho a omo retrieve sa pistol nti sa pistol no de ewo I oppose for afa sa pistol no omo so omo ye nhwemu we are told say omo de ba kuma ballistic expert omo ye forensic science na omo ehu how it you to any kwan a efa so any eti omo bo no kra no efa hin ni ekoye san ni ade no omo be mo omo nti omo gu hwehwemu a na ndo a any police for edi nkomo efa anti how akumsa MP for ewutu senya east ono so no omo mbo no kwedu mum de na ndo a omo invite no initially no omo ko ni fie se nko omo ko training statement but later no omo retweet here and omo invite no ma omo training statement with the Ghana Police Service Division workers so na ko training statement but if you know ye share dante ho asem bia bio so omo bo no so bo ana so omo the charges bi eto no so ana so omo fa charges bia anto no so omo training statement ni wie no okọ ni bi so omo say adenti na omo anchi Madam Hawa Kumsin because charges in the board nipa 9 na charge ba ko eka ho ne say omo discharge firearm in the public without lawful authority na anti how akumsi na nkasa admit say ono so discharge firearms and also ma warning shots no let's just say sa shot no ye no she was not authorized say so to start you know but police force omo gu so omo ye hwehwem nti say so omo chena on the Chintendra, you could see them.
Okay, but Richard, a man tell not one more lawyer for. And I'm about to know.
I see a lawyer and young Ponsadaz in a stray quarter of mobile.
But yeah, Richard, I mean, no, I'm if I ain't see her for now. Richard Kojonya Kon and Rat now over court and Rantier and Naya approach for Saka Womo, Kasua, Tutua, a course, so a biom so amayate, say approach for to Safre. The Honourable Member of Parliament, Honourable Hawa Kumsin, wabetre na no sem ma oma shedhwe mu no asenti na se nia ewo ho no but anapai ekuane na say mikuta Criminal Offences Act 1960 Act 29 na article 206 ekasafa carrying offensive weapons mepese be education kakra na mekanya na afei akuya wo hai na oye metwi lecture wabo na afei ya chechim na se mamu akwaba na
majoso
awode wo ho
o nyame adom ade echiwa na enkwane ahodin wo mu usifiri mpaso na adom na siwesi wo na nte fort bia fort ho kra na so wetimi asi fom ne de eso so da nyame ase wo se nipa bebre yenhira ano kwanyensi sanse aya na yehunu de nyame ayama ye ni adamu ase na ye yete ase kura no ye bi papa na se wanhye dan na wase aya na de nse obeto aso
nokro
nti yakopon so obo ense ne nse so ntine na se de enye bibia ma ne yenkonso ma ne enye hwe ma no tide na se ye so ano pani kwase fedisije nti unia sasabre uti Adom FM na nyame ase ano pe de bi wan ka se Awurade me de wase
Section 206 of the Criminal Offences Act. I say a person who without lawful authority, the proof of which lies on that person, has in a public place an offensive weapon, commits a misdemeanor. Nidi kind no. A person who without lawful authority, the proof of which lies on that person, has in a public place an offensive weapon, commits misdemeanor.
Wobia wuni tumi na ebedwem akonde ebehye wo ho no wabumra so.
A person who, while present at a public meeting or a public assembly of people or on the occasion of a public procession, has an offensive weapon or missile without lawful authority, the proof of which lies on that person, commits a misdemeanor.
Wobi a wodi akonde be hye wo ho e wo nipam akonde a chesem emra ma wo ho kwaye o na e be hye wo ho e wo nipam no na wantumi ankere senti akonde ne hye wo ho no wo so wati amra.
3 or say for the purposes of this section, A, offensive missile includes a stone or a brick likely to cause harm if thrown.
Sanchire mu ya ebe no se ye ka akode no a ye boboso no a
Yes.
Brick emreke se na se bloso ibio anabo bloso a ye disi dan yi ana se bo wo fa se wo to ana wo di nsamoni bi a eno no ye tumi classify ne se e ya akode ye disi dan de ye brogo brick
but oto de
bo no so dan ba bi so a ye bo na emom se wo fa na wo to ana wo de ye bibia ebetia nipa no a eya akonde.
B, offensive weapon means an article made or adapted for use for causing injury to the person or intended by the person having it for that use by that person.
Enu akura ne yedi kan yakom CJ efise ade no edane ba bia yes se ye bekasa ade no a wo fa aye no wo de edi nsemone ana se wo de amma hawa ba obi so se ye bo no o se ye akonde bi ehye wo ho no wo de di nsemone a na ati amra no. What you say?
Matias. Now, okay, jumping to section 209, discharging guns in town.
Discharging guns in town.
Now, for yen share penalty ewo hu and who him pa. One or say a person commits a criminal offense and is liable to a fine not exceeding 25 penalty units. Who in a town without lawful and necessary occasion. A person commits a criminal offense and is liable to a fine not exceeding 25 penalty units. Who in a town without lawful and necessary occasion, A, discharges a firearm, or B, being the occupier of a house, building, or yard, knowingly permits a firearm to be discharged from that place.
Wua CJ, wukita tua ubetunu nipem. Ana se bi a wo fie ena ye tutuo no ana sa akode ekro no ye di nsamone no ye di nsamone no se wututuo no e wo nipam ana sa akode ekro no would tesa wo di nsamone no wo badwamu a asotwe na de ma wo no sani o mo calculate sa 25 penalty unit of wind
penalty unit dia 12 cedis
12 cedis it 25 no be saying
in fact 500 ana
sir any this akwadwofo Johnny betumi a chechi eti no CJ wo hu
300
wasem a wo kan ya wo kan de akwa akosi ya maame die so na sa akonde ne se enye tuo nku ebo eni bros nyina aka ho ena baabi so a wo beto se ye tuo se ye buo baabi a wo beto no no eno so ka ho se mrama wo ho kwan enu ntina na ano ne ye ka na ya se police ni kura wo kitatuo no police ni kura kitatuo no se woto no wanto no yi a wonyamane se wo ye civilian no se because Ghana say ne ade tutu ye ho ne se malansisi mituo no. Unse first question ebisa se utie nana sai ne ye maami interviewer obisa no etuo type ben si alansese ye no obi okitatu obi asem oka ne se malansese eti mrayi eniye kan no ye nya lawyer no more explanation or more abeka cho say interpretation of the law ye nya omo kire ye mu a emi ye hu se etuo no enye so lansese ya no wawie bebra wo to no baby a wo to no
under what circumstance? Again, na say to me see my license pa make me at all. And yes, Mr.
Sir, offer say or life young. And when you two unqua, be offers so bit me dear defender on into your self defense. Idea ultimately to catch your home. At your own quan because one in you are ultimately be a life first. So what I say, and obia so fundamental right to the life. Inti self defense mu. Abra for say or life ye threaten sabre no and I'll be to me use sa weapon even if it's registered. See, register I know a different issue. I don't know. I just call any man's and wait me a defending who you were court, but you register since or register then say or the airboat or by an idea. Time offers or life you're threatened. Nanumpono overshed baby. I want to say one so no over home by no. Uncle Kohame innocent so be. What I say?
So tienche mu a dem a me de ba ya o si tuo no me tu hwewiem
overline si tuo no a ye kira o ne to ka ho
Mame gwa homa no so na me ne Ora Franklin Kujo ye president Imani Africa me ne no entwetwe enkomo Franklin na oware asantini enso ni twi enka Franklin ase wa ya de
na se bank akra
o cut 3 lines and say 2.5 no be bofu na half na twi
Franklin
me chamwe anopa we me shame mu nyina
enya no start you be shame
Franklin so be abakọ de
na me Adom me chawe for so
well and you see and then answer about to din twerɛ I mean, him say when and himself, the member of parliament, minister of state, Okotutu. Now she's assisting the police in their investigation. But from baby I will see no near Aquaswa Fibe and Sanbe, you know, who is saying, Franklin.
Oh, media anchor, my cafe. I think that near say near what the minister should actually be doing is at least for the sake of her own party. At least for the sake of the presidency. So Obu Pardia, Obu Party known as Obu Ghanaians Pardia, and Yanka on step aside because you see, it's not for nothing that Usha it's not everybody that is given a gun or is licensed to hold a gun, except say of course, Kofobibri which are not registered, legitimate guns. And I can share a little story, which is a reason why I'm more concerned about what she did. Okay, and now me papa friend me say, they heard a loud sound. They came to the hallway and found bullet shells. Right?
Hey.
Now, I'm telling you something that just happened yesterday night. And so I'm almost bullet shells, which came through presumably through the ceiling. Yeah, they saw holes through the ceiling. And see me, mama, immediately go to my brother. They had to go to the police station, and the police officer who came. This Lomnava area, by the way. The police officer who came, initial, okay, and say, officer said, do we have some ex-service persons around the area? Or do we have, like, people who live in, high-rise buildings in the area? And I'm Papa Mukan said, actually, yes, there are a few high-rise buildings around the area. But they don't know if there are any ex-service persons. Of course, the other question they asked us, whether my father or my brother may have had some altercations with anybody. And they said no, they don't know anything about that. But the police officer suggested something which was very interesting. I see, this is about the third, actually it's about the fourth case is handled around that area. And sometimes it is because somebody may have fired a gun either in the air or probably targeted or mistargeted at certain places. So it may not necessarily be somebody trying to attack them. You understand? Mm-hmm. So when the woman, the minister, had fired a gun in the air for a very serious exercise like the one we are dealing with, and to think that there were people around. Oh, sure, there was a story said there was a woman selling who had bullets, bullet holes in
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the impact you can have from guns that have been fired without any. I mean, even if it was so-called self-defense. What I'm saying is, when you possess a gun, and then you fire indiscriminately, you are most likely to cause disaffection and cause stray deaths. In fact, we've had incidents around the military, that 7 area, where they were doing just ordinary trainings or something, and they had to go and pick shells from other people's homes, and people were concerned. You see, those people who are downplaying the fact that, oh, he did it in self-defense, he even fired in the air. In fact, the minister ignorantly suggests that, oh, media, I only fired in the air. You have no idea. A friend of mine just sent a message to me. He's a Ghanaian. He's in the Secret Service of the United States. In fact, he was part of the Obama team that came to Ghana. He was just telling me that it's not for any reason that the United States decided to be very, very, should I say, stringent on people who are giving guns, and even on the issues of firing warning shots. But warning shots have the tendency of straying and causing pain. So I'm giving you a live example of what I suspect would have happened if that warning shot may have gone somewhere else. So let's not downplay these issues at all.
Okay, but Franklin, me say what say adwenkyerɛ binum ana minister no any binum so adwenkyerɛ say her life was under threat. Enti na say obɔ ne ho ɛban enti otutuo no ɛno odwene ho saying Franklin.
All that I've heard, including from people that are even sympathetic to her, they are quite incoherent and not necessarily true. That is what I know. That's what I've heard. So I really do not believe that aspect of the story. In any case, the issues are that there were policemen stationed there. Is that not the case? I mean, secondly, you should have called the police anyway, assuming the life was truly under threat. And I don't think that the minister was walking alone. He probably had bodyguards who would have been the first line of defense. But
the minister tells us at the time somebody see not the bodyguard, it was still early in the morning, not the bodyguard and reported for duty.
But what was she going to do at the registration center with a gun? And then our registration center need to. You see, there's a premeditated aspect of this action, which I think the president must act quickly. I'll be very surprised and hurt, really, if the president does not sack her. This is premeditated taggery. Let's not joke with these things. Okay? It is not for nothing that sometimes when people speak, they get very irritated and get emotional. Let's not use these issues to. Yes,
Amanosem.
Let's not trivialize it for once. If somebody went to a registration center fully loaded with a gun, it meant that at the least opportunity, if she, in her view, reads what she now calls threat, and may not necessarily be threat at all, and fires a gun, I can only understand it to mean that the person was actually planning to do something of the sort. And in any case, the other defenses say, or they say, or yet or disrupting. As a civilized member of parliament, the first thing you do, if you've heard something like that, is to call on the police service to even accompany you to go and ensure, because those are the things I keep hearing. In fact, herself and her assistants have been making giving incoherent excuses. Say, the other party had mobilized people to go to the registration center and cause mayhem. I'm sure you heard that.
Yes.
So, as a law-abiding lawmaker, what do? Don't you call on the police because you have access to all the police you can have access to. But the moment you yourself went in there, knowing fully well that according to your own description, I will see what a certain homophobic or yet BB they or no more. And not just a planning pass or go check BB crazy or no more. I'm sure you hear that analogy as well. So it was premeditated. Let's not. I don't believe anything she says. I mean, as far as this matter is concerned. But the matter really for me is the fear and the panic. And so you don't even the other point I'd like to add quickly and probably end this conversation is you see, there are so many. Yes, I mean, say, tour and that have not been licensed.
Yes. Yes.
Homemade arms and all of that. So, if the president doesn't act quickly, and I expected him to act before he jumped on the plane, what will happen is that what signal he sent so far is that, the vigilante bill was a useless enterprise. Now, what it means is that everybody who is in the power, who has the power to hold the gun, whether legitimate or not, is not thinking about protecting himself or herself at registration centers. In fact, he's now motivated on party activists to start defending themselves. That's the signal we are sending. 48 clear hours, and there has been no serious reactions from the center. It's sickening.
Okay, but Franklin, or a certain member of parliament, privileges committee of parliament, and so Franklin.
Well, even before the privileges committee comes in, the parliament is a lawmaking body, and I understand what they are trying to say. Media, the fact that I'm not even thinking about the fact that she's an MP. She's a minister as well. And I think those the presidency, they should even pretend that they are even dealing with the matter. At least issue a statement saying that the presidency is serious about these issues and will definitely get to the bottom of it. The 48 clear hours, I don't know if you've seen any statement from the presidency.
Well, not yet. And the silence, a free presidency on mobile, who say,
it's irresponsible. Seriously.
It's irresponsible.
It's extremely irresponsible. And that's my worry. And I keep saying that. But the president is a very respected gentleman. He's a believer in the rule of law. If he doesn't say anything on this matter, he's then distancing himself from the belief that we all have in him as a very avid supporter of the rule of law. And it's the belief in his own steps he's taking to prevent vigilantism. I'm really worried. And I'm not even trying to make this a Franklin Kuto matter, but I'm just giving you analogies of what stray bullets could do. That happened as recently as just yesterday.
Franklin, I'm not saying offense here. Franklin Kujo is the president in Mani Africa. And I know actually and come on and I say
see you. Asam no eno anu aka no. Asam no aka no. Se minim se nipa bebre condemn. Ba omampani so ka bieye because of 2 years ago State of the Nation's address asama odi kotudwa after Yawaso West Ogun incident no. Yes, kwan bia obefa so bia say vigilantism, and this a clear case of vigilantism. Inti say tackle na was tackle na head on. Eni kwan say koye say yehweku ni anim ni amanamo. So homrantie bia omo no nhye da nyi adwuma ye de omo koye basabasa ya yenyere wo mo nemum. De wo gina brand ye nya ho asem ka. Say yenye ni bibi mpo ni ye be frɛ na twi na nimu a. I think say be deterrent because abato mu ni ye kɔ no. Enti signal be na send me nam hoyi. Me nam ampetu na some kwa hiam nti me mom ho bayana a big question. What you say?
Na ma nkwa homa no so na yankwaje ntrɛtrɛ kakra ɛfa ne amra no ka ɛfa etuo ni akode ekeka ho saa ho ɛne abra yebetumi ɛde saa akode no ɛde dwuma lawyer yawo pon ɛyɛ mranimu ni kase pa wa beka me sa ahoma no so solid lawyer lawyer otumi ka mo achi
na wo so ahin
awode wo ho
na me gusu sai mo so
e gusu kakra lawyer Lawyer na pay nyame adom Criminal Offences Act Adam anim ha. Na wo kwaye mranim ni. Embra no kas dien efa etuo ene akode ankaye ho. Na be se yehunu ene se me wotuo wo me ho na one ma register. Abre ben na tuo no metimi ato ana akode bi etisa lawyer.
Batanya wo anim no kan ni ntie.
Lawyer, section 206 of this act. And a makaya ma yachire mutwi ni ade nyina but ntiase na ye pefro say a person who without lawful authority the proof of which lies on that person has in a public place an offensive weapon commits a misdemeanor. 2. Or say a person who while present at a public meeting or a public assembly of people or on the occasion of a public procession has an offensive weapon or missile without lawful authority, the proof of which lies on that person commits a misdemeanor. 3. No, I say for the purposes of this section, A. Offensive missile includes a stone or a brick likely to cause harm if thrown. B. Offensive weapon means an article made or adapted for use for causing injury to the person or intended by the person having it for the use by that person. Lawyer, yes, that's free.
That's the need that hope to say. Any that hope to say. Now, so be a bit media account so me a almost a mrebian yawomra kukudamba kwa a kikaki can send be nyama be nsem. We now can no Criminal and Offences Act and the Peruanum TT no cano intent to me minimum be near Etran say a mrebia yabono tofa efa of a subembia obedine di and a subembia a ye na one and a di na a bed crocodile bonnie ewo minum rea any sooner. Yakika ni nyina bom eye enfie bebre ni 1962 ho baabi na ngo yen ena penifo kika bom mu na omo de chat ye ne dibia ka ho dibia ya sa kire bi mu abepem sa bere na so 1960 ya ena bia ka ho abepem sa bere na enu achi no so ya na mpanifo almost semra wo hwa o mutimi san hu se emre ya ka ho asem wo sa emra ba kan kese mu ti se at 29 ya wo kan nanso enam se ache anan sakraye bi ba wo ya brabo mu nti emma bia sa emra no entimi enni musa ne ye pe no yense da nyemra ba ko fa ade ba ko pote ho enunti waka etuo aboba eni mfidie kodie hu asem wo a 29 num nanso omo ba enom se ya papa champon breso no omo sa be ye ne friend arms and ammunition that time omo si decree say ya ba yenim say act eno so na ukọ section 7 na see control of public display of arms or ammunition. And no who fa baby sa we mu a wo kan ye no. But then also chere say obi antimi ntutuo ewo bedwam agise kata o ko dituo no mremu ahoden no na friend license no takata na kire wo mu say akwania sabiso obetimi ato sa tuo no ewo bedwam na abonten.
Okay, let the lawyer submit say tuo no okwaje license no a ye kire bia poten a utimi tutuo no ene bia eni wo say wotutuo no sa na tie
sana emra we no e kire enti osi ni dika untimi ntutuo no ewo abonten na se koba se ese se oto dia busa ho se kata ye de ma wo I nunti uwo mmara kwan so tumi sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ukratu ne di kan kora no obi ani tumi sɛ ɛsɛ ukratu wɔ man mu agye sɛ mmara ma ho kwan mmara no nso bɛ ma ho kwan a te sɛ mmara ma ho unni tumi sɛ ɔbɛka ka agye sɛ mmara ma ho kwan mmara no ma ho kwan te sɛ sɛ ma ho nhyɛnsodeɛ krataa ɛyɛ license no betumi akyerɛw sɛ wo taxi na ana small cars nketenkete bi na obetumi de aka etumi kra kyerɛ sɛ wo de obetumi de wo de ya articulator me boa ana tracker
yes
enti obiara ne de ade kra wo hia tuo no bi aye no license no be kyerɛ sɛ tumi a ɛkwan a obɛfa so ayusu ni akwannuansa a obɛfa so betumi de ayusu ni ɛna baabi a obetumi atutuo no enu nti wo de arms and ammunition act no so be ka ho a etimi ma we nani na awae no ebeda ho pefi mpo chen bia na yetene fi se no de yefa etuo ene enfidie kodie wo ho nko a ena we nso a wo kan yefa bibia suban bia obeda na di o man mu efa ne se o man ni mra mu wadi bone titru na na wo we nyina mu ni pesa me de brofo be frafra ona pe nti unsem busa no na me kyerɛ sɛ nti baabi a wobɛtutuo no egyina ɛyɛ tumi a mmara no de ma wo ɛbrɛ a wokɔ license etuo no nti sɛ wowɔ asɛmbuta foforɔ
and lawyer Sametua say in this case reason honorable minister a member of parliament Wadema say what tutuo no because her life was under threat sir reason no see him fa e was amrayim
minia na me se nyame se o mame mfom e wo mikasa mu nti atudi e da me so ni se me ankasa nso meboa me ho nti ya na sem bi ba na ebia e bekwa ko wie nhwehwemu ana se ya hwehwemu ase ana se bi mu aye ni tita no ma e de akoto abrewani bia ene na me se be ye nimtia se me kwakopa afa no ma na tutu ne honam bia akoto abrewasa no ma be ni ne mom sɛ nyame ka siso ne sɛ maame asɛm bae sɛbi yɛnso ka ne yɛnhyɛ koro ase obiara sɛbi na ɔwɔ ɛbere kakra bi ate ne asi yɛate sɛ bi mu de asɛm no akɔto politifoɔ a mmara ɛma ɔmo ho kwan sɛ ɔmo nyɛ saa nhwehwɛmu no enti nka ɛbɛtumi na ɔne ɔtifoɔ bɛboa me deɛ a na me nso mɛtumi adi mmara no so deɛ nka mempɛ sɛ nka meka no ho asɛm pɔtee na mmom sɛ wopɛ sɛ bi a mekyerɛ kakra menim wɔ mmara kwan so ɛne sɛbi nyansa kwan so etuo to da bɛn ɛbere bɛn ne yɛbɛtumi kora mpo atoɔ
lawyer na ka yɛ bank kakra yɛtwitwi nkɔmmɔ yɛ ananka yɛbɛdu
nti no metwa ne tiama wo
medase
nti wohwɛ criminal act a wankasa wokan sisi ɛyɛ a ɛno nso ka saa adeɛ ho asɛm kakra wokɔ section 32 ɛda w'ani mu anka kɔ hɔ ma yɛn sɛ na ɛwɔ me cat case
medase
kɔ section 32
section 32 okay so 32 okay general limits of justifiable force or harm.
Try answer. Just a coin. I abon po. Yabon pa. Ebema obi. Edi 2 minutes from kubi. So, a proud. So, Edi 2 minutes from kubi. A proud. But a coin mumpa. A blue trasso. A timiba a kum. Wo abra emraman ho kwan no kwan a emraman ho kwan no eno ne ye kan we wi a ye be koso ne di kan no de o ka se tumi a wuni a eto se odi pra obi ana se opra no be kwa ko wie kum enti kan ho nyente.
Although there may exist a matter of justification for its use, force cannot be justified as having been used in pursuance of that matter.
Okay, enti sene a wote ase no o kire se ɛwɔ mu sɛ bɛduru bere bi a ɛsɛ sɛ wode tumi soronko bi ɔhyɛw soronko bi ɔhyew bɔ soronko bi ɛde edi dwuma bi ɛno no yɛyɛ de atia nipa anaa agyapadeɛ na mmom ɛsɛ sɛ wo ɛno wɔ wadwene mu no wosan ho nso sɛ woyɛ ma ɛkɔboro so a wabu mmara ne so enti ɛkwan bɛn ne yɛbɛtumi ahu mu nsonsonyɛ no kɔ section 37
section 37
kɔ
as a preacher, ne Bible reader. Use of force for prevention of or defense against criminal offense.
Yes.
I say for the prevention of or for personal defense or the defense of any other person against a criminal offense or for the suppression or dispersion of a righteous or an unlawful assembly, a person may justify the use of force or harm which is reasonably necessary, extending in case of extreme necessity, even to killing. Hey.
Okay. And the thing I say, a bedu bribia, ahuhiahia mu, anase a quindi bow soa, and a quenya dish a yabone quaso bow soa. So when you know on so now so one more who by a ubu and I will be pra. And so bow who by na all bow who by a DNA so ye. A quan ben sooner, Sadia way betting me a bar and incubating like a set me ball me who by. Or say one castle uni panan casano. Say obi be diwo and obi be diw bonny. And I say, a nipakubia abochen kuba you. Almost eba ewe niso bria na se niso din so a utimi hu so munya boni a mubedi. So an suppression or dispersion of a riotous or
an unlawful assembly. Yes.
The righteous go for corrupt. Send the in say amount for you corner and demonstration utimi se bi o mu kran konti man na
basa
omo utimi so mu kodi baso utimi efa kwan bi so na utimi ema omo dwane ananse omo mutete a eno no saa kwanya no se ba wa kwan mu se utimi eye na se ne be na boni anko mu kodi no na basa ya so omo koye no omo ntimi anye ayete se Tower of Babel di nyankopon mo ye confused afi omo no fi so omo enim nyansa ten nyame nti omo challenge nyame ewi akire no or the confusion si omo nyina aye den edane this first okay o say no betimi ama when you see to me any bibi e bebo amu etimi enya akwanya bi sa tumi na ya djuma no ama empo ebetimi akodu pempenso bi se nipakum ebebem ubeku nipa na unim se yemra no ne batan nyina ne mra pon nyina ye constitution no
yes
ebi da wanim ana ebi ben
constitution ni ben ha
okay yanko article 13
article 13
Jim FM.
Page 12. So the end.
Yeah. Article 13. Fundamental human rights and freedoms. 13. No, I say no person.
13 in China.
Protection of right to life. 13.1. I say no person shall be deprived of his life intentionally, except in the exercise of the execution of a sentence of a court in respect of a criminal offense under the laws of Ghana of which he has been convicted.
Okay, two no.
Two no say a person shall not be held to have deprived another person of his life in contravention of clause 1 of this article if that other person dies as a result of a lawful act of war, or if that other person dies as a result of the use of force to such an extent as is reasonably justifiable in the particular circumstances. And
okay,
we have A, B, C.
Antana Alberto Asuno. Me a 13 ni training say ignya pa say ye bebo yen kran hu ye bebo yen ho ban. Enkwa na nya me de man ye bebo ho ban na yen hwere. Na yen hwere afoforo nso nkwa. Eno ni edi kan chichemu ba ko no. Chichemu mienu no. Eno ka say ebe kwakọ duru tempenso bia na bribia enipekum wana se beji obi krafri ni nsem ka tempenso ne bi ni se akon asi e wo man mu na se o man ni aman foforo ekọ akon ni nipewu ana se obi ewu esan se enyina so wo ho se esi eku no e wo mra mu enti jitemu mienu no ni yimu no
for the defense of any person from violence or for the defense of property.
Enti se ekobase unya kwenya bia bo ho ban unya kwenya bia so obi nyi wo kra influence am adise ukusa ni pakro na ebetimi yemremu yemfa ne se udi trimupo ekuno empo se udi bo we japade ho ban we no de enya wa nkasa a obewu udi bo we japade ho ban na saa kwan ne so no nipa no ebi obi bewia na obegye furu nsem na kwan fofo bia ni ho adite ukusa nipa no na utimi de bo we japade no ho ban a
eno so ntromra
ne se Omo trimupo se wudi ekuno.
I see.
Self-defense, any defense of property. I say, who has him for before? So I say, "Nami go give me pa."
Lawyer, that's about B no na nka pese edisi ho. Any na me kan ma me fa B no na emfe ntwato na fi entiaso entimi na ho. In order to effect a lawful arrest or to prevent the escape of a person lawfully detained.
Okay, enti the police ni person ochi obi anaso obi amrama ne to be say obi wiade a otimi china na ekwanfofo bia ni ho a ebetimi ama no etimi achew na ye ade we no mamu ye du ni say police for the enti ne yamo no yama omo tumi say omo timi kuratu na omo timi timi che enti yama omo suehu so sonko enti kwan a ebi a mi ntimi enyi su kwan foforo bi a betumi akowie se bi a na mi mpengu meku obi se bi a me che no bi se odi bone wo manimu no police ni edi no abi adwuma me de no betumi a defense but no de no nye defense so no de ya kire no senia otimi kura bubu obi na egu ho otimi so obi pa ema ne nan kra nka fom me no minum ye enunti eba penti na police for titru ene omo omutimi emrama omo kwan so omuchi nipa edi omo kotu afiase no ena we ye de ma omo no enti police ni becho na impo de odidi se bi enye kwan paso a ode boko di nechi na nenenko ba se wanfa kwan pa na eche wa emra no so ma ho kwan se utimi de ono wankasa no kura kokko ti ma okutwa ne damage enti entwai mani eni ni meye gidigidi ebi se kopie se kwan fofo bi eni ho na ekowie si wawu a wanhwa asabi wawu a wanhwa unchiri mampo enya empathetic bia o mpe empathetic anumpo entimi enkose o kramu entino eno de ma nipa sonko me mfa ne se ye me ne wa se de sa
okay
ya me no de ne de titru na ne wo no me bo me japade ho ban me bo me kra
me bo me nkwa ho ban
na ne ese ye ka twato ni se obi kan we nye license e se ne bibi kakra bi ape ti se Baby, as you be the bika and untia no to baby. As I said, ye be kind or show bonnet nipane de bausono. Eh, idea a powerful phobia who Udani ye.
But lawyer, you're the practical kakra say, well, nipane bamiso won't kuta weapon. Nemo mo dia ni brain na airba. Na me kura weapon na mitime de bono.
Minia, unum te pen. Yet me the trade. It can weapon. An offensive weapon.
Yes.
But a bedroom baby a pen, let me your offensive weapon.
Yes. Yes.
And I pray nipa. Nemo monomran thing ye be can yen or show bono a nipa ne de but now so your show about cry home by. Yen share idea crown no. Our day by the classican, Ukretu. Obed will pass and with media wall. Ain't Yanko Pen to obey no. Utu no star, one hand when a switching when you're going bonnet or brass.
Okay.
All bano, untimina. And answer Bakufu, a cheap Bakufu, ha. A big crowd, oh, hey, we are met to trouble, we're done in the Nico, not to tune up on the tico. And no, wouldn't defend me. The think Akuma that is the building command at Joanka. Let's say, in fact, home acquire school for any home, and he said, Sabi, me fancy, we are police me. Wakonya say, we need to coffee. And I say, Ukaway, the amount, Kata say, Uchimi, Ukretu. Now, Urefiano, means make me as a suit, and you can so a down for be Kretu. Urefia no been in a red da. And your friend now old than when I call Marco for you about to abono. And no, where the bonnet. The dear honor put to promo. And so they mean 2 fossa or a bermana, a cobasa with the Unauthorized, meant to 2. And fancy here.
Penalties to them, Bessie, the chat war. And back to the criminal offenses.
Send your kind, send your kind, no think misdemeanor, no, baby, no.
25 penalty units.
To stay there 3 years ago, 1 year for 3 years ago. Nemumu, Senipakumba, na, and to me, when to me and come and trust me, now the ball, a bind, and now we just had your home bind. Now, when you are said to be anywhere, Mama, hope I say, a senka, or fasten out to me the ball home bind there, and any precum dear. A cobasa old ball, Timu Pona, Uku, Pana, number above a friend of Medana. And no one here now was looking for constitution no man who can. A man no man who can say to me, Bow Kun for. Now, see you kun. The cobasa, none can you what drink, Sabre no so be kuno. No mumu. One Casano, one Fakman Papa Biso, one New Who ye. Oh, yeah, then you think I made 2 nabo, a brantiano, and a cobon and everywhere in where one shine, no, see, a better say, work with Nipa was switching, looking at it all, could they see ball. So, it would be a Mikai, you money paniding, your cold school now, they say a Costranco for in some prison. That father nana near the branch be already and my mobile in the Baho. Then I'm a character you do honor be a car team near a year different in Canton Consult differently. You'll be a Siminianum, your mamma foot you back. At some way, they're 24 years in it. Mamma foot you back. She bet me and make you and go home. If you say, some bar, a dear and Claudia buy a day. Would it obey a baby Nipa Cronem? Would it obey? Would it do ya? A bad Jenny Crafty, and we have more dear unto me matter for us. And also, dear, was so clear. Send a Bible crack iron, woo, and also the woo. One kind of
Amen. I was so loyal, Amen.
That's it.
But lawyer, in the case of ministering, Wajia Tumson 1 or 2 tuno, Emampo or Boa police for in their investigation. But say Ekobase, Ebia were chantro, 29 or 3, name Mono Wakasa just to protect the boys and one more kind of honor. what happens? Lawyer.
Let's say my crew are in Pami home, sadly.
Jim FM.
Lawyer for my
Lawyer
for my infancy, that's it.
You mean
Lawyer upon and I mean no actually command. In fact, it's been very, very, very educative. What say you mupanti say wutia na wahunu ebi a mechire o second show pass wo tuo show ho bra esesa wo di tuo ni adwuma and the circumstances esesa e sorry ansana what tuo no ese utimi ehunu na wankofa asem amfa ama ho ntimi gidi sana pay yesua de pa na say
emra wo krom ha na nkyiremu so ho
emra no nkyiremu no ne hia ho emra ne de wo ho ba say ankyiremu wante ase a wona ma abafu se bia wodi mra
nkyiremu ya lawyer de abai so no obetimi akọ ne nkyiremu so asa akọdan
my lawyer can send be story I can bra call in some prison and if asam will be kind if you know or dem ma fiance na de o ma ba o ka tro mo say enuanom se be ya ade friend ni tu de e ma ne mben woda obi anu odam dida ade friend ni tu de ma ne mben woda isan se ben wo a obufu a ade a ka se wo de aba eye no
odi tu be
unim
me papa wo nwum be friend no enwum na abotre
ma me hwehwe awana me hwehwe
unhunu enwum no unhunu e ofie
enwum na papa e de aja wo no wo de enwum na to fie
mfa ni nyina ngu afidie so ofie me di tume ho fo
wo nkwa wo di tu ho fo
bi na me ka kire we enwum no mu asem na me ya ka o se kokko esore a adwene nya adwuma onipa bia obufu a wadwene nya adwuma nti tambia no ade ba kwa so man daw mu ne abotre ampa so odopa wankasa o check your life a decisions a what take abra obuofu no emu be 98% na nya papa kokko sori a adwene nya adwuma yes
na say
nti
na so wo say eti wani so na fe
it even your politicians ibebre ho no ansem bia binum aka aye tragic edi amomo ewo wo mo political life mu no omo ka sansem no mo bofu omo de abufuo ne ka sansem no hwe nanado asem o kan o die bi die eye abufuo because na asem a hye ne so
mata abense na ho
omo mpani dada John Dramani Mahama boot for boot o da hwe video no ne di mi na o ka sa tum se abufuo wom
eno so abense na ho
yes obufuo a wan hwe ya se wano anka wonsa anya ade bi ebefiri mu aba na nya papa the time bia obubefu no you very very careful abani
MPP amayoko no dwem training a won new Dwaben North chairman Kwadwo Boate Agiman o say
ko Boate so na no beto ase bi mu
o so obi ka
se me chia
chairman
Baba
apomo ko na say so chia o
na say ono de wakofa betu kurom ha ya ye kan ha ye ge te no anti de asara no patutu a watwe ye gina so
na sa ye de ne a
na o de na say o de ye be kan o content na say de ye na mushi te enye papa o
ka jesu wi am mo question mi no pe mi ma no
chama come on to train na we say o person can be chama enti o
minia ye di kan say ye din komo ibebre minim say Ghana nkoso ne na adi nti na mo nyina ye nyina edi hu komo and I believe obia opinion on this situation I see okaswa but there me ya say almost all the analysts are my friend so-called security experts. No, let me use the word so-called crime. The people that they call themselves security experts. Look at the situation at Kaswa. Nobody has assessed the situation in Kaswa. Sabi. Minia, say the whole Ghana. Can you tell me one constituency is so volatile? Security situation. At the time of Yowonu, every regional commander, he declared that area. So Obia Obagra approve be reinforcing a whole security. Now at this situation, and one is Obia Masam Neswa, no Akabi. And Amona Mamini 2 years. Has anybody assessed it?
Yembisa we say I'm ranting no free na neighbor. As I'm telling you today, open the hard criminals. Open hita year or baby obenya o mine kaswa. Look at the settlers over there, the Liberians, the Nigerians, and the hard criminals of Guineas. That is where. Do you know Kaswa? There's an area we call no-go zone. Above 5 or so be either. You see, so for me, the Mameno at the time in the Constitution is mandated for it, for her to protect herself. And who sent them there? And then let's assess beginning the languages and for political party before this process. You introduced some your friends by officers. You don't want to set them a conscientize them. Say even security will make sure that president himself will be uncomfortable about the security in this country. Now, Sabi, I did so. Young family kun ye nekene kuna. Obi abezwa so how am kumsin and then the talks be attacking and then cophobia ye home and then we come back and sympathize the situation. And the woman did democracy about the world. America, go to Chicago. Obi bon pum koko. Now you say your life is at threat. Your first thing is you give a warning shot. Okay. To let the person to flee. So what are we doing to ourselves? Obabesia. Yenche now to now mami na unia waba catch and say oh any oba na then the aye ni say ni ade. Without even looking at the situation say be born about say oh why are they so we're protecting the life. Chairman, you better me na say uba studio ya to anko matwetwen so ye mre na tia. We be here pa but me dey make sure one say yenye the fair assessment. Enye obi political situations. Ye dey ani enka mu nsem o ma kan nyina. Me fa assess say nyom nom kofa ba ya. But I say, Chairman Kwajo Boatia Jiman, new job in North, MPP Chairman, and also so then adventure the Abano. Well, even a personal NCH, na Mantenwaba. Yeah, there's an Dura Plus, where Dura Plus goes water flows, Errata Motors for the best car batteries, and oil by Speed made batteries and oil from Errata Motors. Latex from your partner for life. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready, Nafi, Agbeve. Herbal Center or say why are the Sefi in Mokuya Daruma and Yadina Poso, a Kia Batwa Adom, Nasi Ampo for J. Ebekam home, ma Yade Ebrewo. Eric, a see do Bued.
It's Mama Mablego. I will remember me when your Mama Mablego. Mukamon Kaime. Mosa mama meneme. Aya mo kamio. Mi me mo kamio. Yo, mi no Ghana fo. Mo mama. Umi weni. Yisa mo mi ache papa. Mo feme. Na me so ma feme papa. Na me de me wote kakra. Dizia me pusu no ho. Me push you to say sabio za vache obi kana to push series aye twa aye de ba no afutu wo mo papa wa wo hwa be fa de bi wo na niema ekoso no ni ekoso no bugo bibi ba niema na ekoso an fia no aye na twibini eni awo Nana hema eni nana enkonya sofuo nyina adododi a ekọ ahimfie nyina ya de kwa afakuma fie afakuma na ebusu ni ebusu ko na masa mo ga je be se be ke busu no na so mo ga je be ajua na be be ni farate se be fai bi ami ye mobo na me de busu mu ye friend catch me say ebusuya no nkan obi itu say me igbeni o say me enkrani o say me aye pepeni o say me baisani o say me fantini o say just say me blekuni ba o anu ki blekuni ba kwa minim mayira eno bi to nenyum mayira Obiani di mayo. Oni friend mayo. Mayo blaboimu. Mayo. Isi mayo. Ah mayo. Mayo blabe. On pese media yo wutu ko. Ana mami refi meida. Me meida. Me come in me never. Me family me never. Ina me wa yo me. Me amo me so. Ah mami esa me wura obi sie me so. Masa mo ya yo papa. Masa mo ya yo papa. Me damase.